Okay, this one is for the filmmakers. There's a new grant in town that's looking to help local storytellers and highlight stories from Central Texas. Austin PBS is now accepting applications for its brand new Digital Originals Grant, which will give $35,000 each to 2 local creators. Applications close May 30th, so if you're interested, look up Austin PBS Digital Originals Grant to apply. From the Veloway to extensive off-road trails and protected lanes, Austin is a bike city, y'all. But even here, it can be dangerous on 2 wheels. So today on CityCast Austin, we're talking to someone who gave up their truck a year ago and has pedaled everywhere since. It's Thursday, May 15th. I'm Nikki Devon, and this is what Austin's talking about. Hello, I am here with Abby Robbins, founder of Queer Gravel. Hi, Abby. Thank you for being here.
Thanks, Nikki. I'm stoked to be on the show.
Okay, so you've been in Austin for more than a decade. We've long had a reputation for our cycling community. I think it probably started with Lance Armstrong back in the day. And Austin is already designated a gold level bicycle-friendly community by the League of American Bicyclists. But I'm curious, A through F, what grade would you give Austin when it comes to being bicycle friendly?
Man, I'm probably gonna go. I'm gonna give it a solid B.
Needs improvement. I like that.
There are very few cities that I've been to that don't need improvement. I think that if you ride bikes in Austin, you know what a great place it is to ride bikes in. But if you don't ride bikes in Austin, it probably seems like a terrible place to ride bikes in. And I think that's where most of the improvement comes in. Letting people know how actually easy and enjoyable it is to ride bikes in Austin is, I think that's maybe where the city has the most improvement to do.
I think you're right. It's interesting what it takes to make you aware. I'm born and raised here. I did not know the perks of the city bike until I started working for the city.
Are you kidding? The city bike is nuts.
The city bikes program is technically, it's called Cap Metro Bike Share, or some people also call it Metro Bike, but it's essentially Capital Metro and the city's biking program. You can rent bikes for the day, you can rent electric bikes, you can rent all kinds of stuff.
It is such a great program.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because you have all these different ways of biking, and the thing that's really amazing about Austin is that it makes so much room for every style. If you want to be, lycra clad on your road bike with skinny tires, climbing hills and going fast, if you want to do that, Austin has plenty of roads and streets like that where you can tear it up, right? And it's great. If you want to ride mountain bikes, you don't have to leave Austin city limits to get really good mountain biking. The Walnut Creek Trail, north and south, all of the South Austin Trail Network, all of the interconnected trails that have been built either by the city or by people who just enjoy building that stuff. It's everywhere. You can get all across town. You've got the Violet Crown Trail and the Greenbelt.
I'm leaning towards dipping my foot back in the bike. We'll see. Yeah. We'll see. Okay. We'll see. What is your all-time favorite bicycle ride in Austin for people to go on right now?
If you're a rider like me, and it sounds like a kind of rider like you are, who are just getting into it, but want to explore the city and enjoy things. The team snacks, I think they're calling it the Jelly Roll right now on Sundays.
Love it.
It's a chill ride, always someplace cool to stop and grab a snack. Really, really good people. Basically, any of the rides that Team Snacks does are my favorite right now.
Okay, see, I like this because I can be talked into just about anything if there are snacks involved.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? I don't know how I feel about just riding the bike to ride it But
Yeah.
if I'm riding the bike to snacks,
There you go. That's the key, right?
that's the key.
That's the
That's the
key.
key. That's key. So a lot of Austinites just love riding bikes for fun. So I'm
Yeah.
curious, what are your favorite trails around town?
Ooh. Mm, I love the Veloway. It is such a bonkers resource that we have here in Austin. Like, we're talking top notch quality infrastructure. The Veloway is a 3.2 mile loop, so a 5K loop, no cars, only bikes and rollerblades. So, like, not even any pedestrians, nobody's walking their dog. It's just for bikes. There are areas where it's like shaded, and even in the hottest parts of the summer, you can go out in the morning and it's still very comfortable. I love the Veloway, and I think it's like deeply underutilized. But my recent commute, like my most recent commute, I'm a student at ACC, and I go over to the Riverside campus, and I ride along the hike and bike trail, the Lady Bird Lake Trail.
Yeah.
I come from South Austin and I shoot down, down Congress to the hike and bike trail, and then I take that over to the farthest east point where the dam is. I cross Pleasant Valley, and then I ride through Roy Guerrero Park.
Oh, yeah,
um, Beautiful trails, very accessible, easy to ride. You got to watch out for frisbees because everybody's playing frisbee golf
yeah.
out there. But that's like beautiful trails back through there that, again, I feel like are just kind of underutilized. I
Yeah.
always see amazing wildlife out there. Like, I'm riding in the morning, there's tons of deer and beautiful birds. I've seen like some coyotes, and it's cool to be over there. And then all of a sudden you're like, oh, now I'm at campus. Cool.
Yeah. I'm at my location. Look at
Yeah,
that.
it's like, oh, I get to imagine that I'm much deeper in
Mm-hmm.
this like natural world than I really am. And then I pop out. I'm like, oh, there's an apartment building. Cool. Like, oh, that's 35 over there.
Look
Neat.
at that.
Look
Yeah.
at that. I always love riding in South Austin, but I'm really enjoying like my commute over to the Riverside campus because it kind of forced me to like expand where I'm normally riding,
Mm-hmm.
and that's been really fun.
That's awesome.
I'm riding essentially full time anywhere I have to go.
Wow.
Like, so my wife and I had been like, I'd been riding a lot, and we got this really great e-cargo bike that I love. And I was like, well, I'm riding this all the time. The truck's just sitting there, and it was a lease. And we were like, let's do an experiment. Let's get rid of the truck, and we'll just rely on the bike for as long as we can. And we went into the experiment like fully expecting that in, I don't know, maybe 6 months, a year, that
Yeah.
be like, okay, well, now we need to do it. And I was like, I wonder if I can make it a year. And it was a year at the end of March. We've done all 4 seasons here in Austin. And I'm like, you know what? I don't need it. I don't miss it. Like, we have one car as a family because my wife works a few days a week out in Dripping Springs. But my day to day getting around, functioning in the world is like 100% bike.
Wow. I cannot imagine. One of my favorite things in the world is getting in my car by myself and singing at the top of my lungs, just driving to nowhere, living my best Mariah fantasy. I have lots of friends in my life who biking is that for them, just like
Yeah.
getting on their
Yeah.
bike and doing what they want to do. I want to know how you got into biking and what has your journey been like before now?
I've been connected to the bike world for a really long time. Um, it wasn't until the pandemic, when everything shut down, that I was like, I have to get out of the house. I've got to get some space. And so I fell in love with gravel cycling and adventure cycling, which is like going as far out, right, as you can. Like, to do gravel cycling around here, you have to drive at least to Lockhart. And then you go do really long rides out on gravel roads, basically in the middle of nowhere.
So that's what gravel cycling is. It's just
Yeah.
like long rides on gravel roads.
Yes,
Love it.
basically. And so
Love it.
I got obsessed with it. I set a goal for myself that I wanted to ride this big race called Unbound. I'm non-binary, and it turned out this was the first year that they'd ever had a non-binary category at Unbound. So I went, and out of the 4,000 plus riders, I was the only non-binary person there in the category. And
Wow.
because I finished the ride, that means I won.
Yes, come through. Yes.
And because I was the first one, they made kind of a big deal about it. I joke that I became accidentally bike famous, and I started working with Giant, which is the
Wow.
world's largest bicycle manufacturer. And of course, they gave me like a gravel bike. And the second year I was working with them, I was like, I don't need another gravel bike. Like, I already have one. But you make this really cool e-cargo bike. That's the bike I want. And they were like, okay, cool. Like, and I just started riding it like crazy. It became my daily driver, right? And like,
Wow.
that's when like the city just like opened up. It changed everything. Like, you're talking about that feeling of like riding, driving in your car and singing at the top of your lungs and all this stuff.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I used to feel like that when I was in my car. And being on the bike is like that times 1,000.
What?
Because the thing about it, the thing that's so like magical is that like, first of all, I still sing at the top of my lungs when I'm riding my bike. Like, if you see me riding like this,
Yes.
I am just bopping along, right? Like, I am
Yes.
going, I am having a blast. But what is so amazing and like powerful about this is that like in a car, you're so closed off from the rest of the world,
Yeah.
right? Like you can't really see things. You got these blind spots. You can't hear anything that's going on. You don't have a real sense of how fast you're moving. But like on a bike, you can see everything. You
Yeah.
feel everything. Like, when you're going up a slight hill or down a slight hill, you can feel how fast you're going. You can hear the things around you. You can hear the birds singing. You can hear the dogs barking, and you can smell the like wonderful smells of the city when you ride past your favorite restaurant, or you cut through the neighborhood on laundry day, or you're just like out through,
Oh, I
out into
love
the trails,
this.
and like you become so much more connected to the city and to all the people around. Like, that's so amazing. And not everybody's like, I don't know, not everybody wants to chat or whatever, but like there have been plenty of times where like I've pulled up to the crosswalk and had really incredible conversations with just
Yeah.
random people in my city, right?
You're blowing my mind right now because
Good, good. I have
because
another
for
convert.
because first of all, this is so funny. 2 days ago, driving in my car and pull up to a car and I see this person's beautiful hat.
Mhm.
And I think as I'm looking at their hat, I think I just probably stared a second too long.
Yeah.
So the guy rolls his window down and I roll my window down and he was like, hey, oh, I'm sorry about that back there. I was like, oh, no, I just like your hat. I was just looking at your hat. And he was like, well, I like your glasses. And I was like, oh, thanks. He's like, how's your Saturday going? And we had this like
Yeah.
really quick interaction and talk at the light, but we were both super aware of how odd that was. Like, that was the strangest 2.5 minutes I've had in a long time. And my partner was like, who was that man? Do you know that? Like, did you just
I
meet
don't
another
know.
person? And I was like, I don't know them. And she was like, only you would talk to a stranger at a light. But I'm thinking about that. And I'm just like, what you said about when you're on a bike and you pull up and there's someone at the corner,
Yeah.
you're just in it.
Yeah.
It wouldn't have been strange at all having this interaction between two people. But because we're in cars, it was so foreign.
Those kinds of interactions are the norm, especially when I first got my big cargo bike, because it's big. It's like it's long, it's really heavy, and there's like a big bucket on the back, and it's like I can haul all sorts of stuff on it. I mean, when I was first riding around town with that, like I literally would have drivers like stop me in the street and be like, "What is that?"
I love that.
And it's like, "Oh, let me tell you about this amazing thing," and how you don't have to be in a car if you don't want. Like, if
You
you want
too.
more of these, yeah, if you want more of these kinds of interactions, it's like it's available to you. And
Yeah.
I think that that's what is so I don't know. That's what's so amazing and like powerful about the bike.
I am not a bike rider. I have a very complicated relationship with bikes because I do enjoy bike riding,
Mhm.
but it is hard for me to find seats big enough for my butt.
Check out All Bodies on Bikes. This is
Oh,
a nonprofit run by a really good friend of mine who is all about size inclusion in the cycling industry, specifically around the gear necessary to make cycling accessible and comfortable. So if you're
thank you for
worried
that.
about your seats, All Bodies on Bikes.
That's what I need.
Yeah.
Hey y'all, it's Nikki. I have to tell you about Takova's boots. I finally have a pair, and I don't know if y'all know this, but they're handmade, high quality, and stylish. And they're comfortable right outside of the box. Now, I know we buy everything online these days, but trust me, you have to get fitted for some boots at Takova's. Now, whether you're like me, a newbie to boots, or you have a closet full of them, the folks at Takova's will help you find your next favorite pair. So, grab a friend, head on over to the Takova's flagship on South Congress or their store at the Domain. Plus, good news, they just opened a store in Georgetown at 709 Main Street for those of you that live just a little further north. With 3 locations in town, you have no excuses. So, that's tecovas.com. TECOVAS.com. Don't go gently, y'all.
Hi, I'm David Plotz, the CEO of CityCast. We've all set health goals: lose weight, exercise more, eat better. But without a plan, those goals often fade. That may have happened to you. It has definitely happened to me. And that's where Prolon comes in. Prolon's 5-day fasting mimicking diet gives you a science-backed, structured approach to stay on track and see real results. And now Prolon is upping their game with the new Next Gen 5-day program, delivering the same science-backed benefits in a cleaner, more convenient, and more flavorful format. Prolon is a plant-based nutrition program featuring soups, snacks, and beverages designed to nourish the body while keeping it in a fasting state, triggering cellular rejuvenation and renewal. Next Gen builds on the original Prolon with 100% organic soups and teas, a richer taste, and ready-to-eat meals. Developed over decades at USC's Longevity Institute and backed by top U.S. medical centers, Prolon has been shown to support biological age reduction, metabolic health, skin appearance, fat loss, and energy. I've been doing the 5-day program, and I feel so much better. I really enjoy the tasty energy bars, the snacks and soups, and the fact that I can enjoy meals, even though the calorie count is super low. The flavors and textures are excellent. An olive oil snack here, broccoli and quinoa soup there, hibiscus tea, a yummy nut bar. It's got the benefits of a 5-day fast, but doesn't have the challenge of doing it with pure liquids. It's a system reset. And also, I know this sounds funny, but it's not. The packaging and directions are fantastic, clear, and well organized and thoughtful. For a limited time, you can be first in line to experience the new Next Gen at special savings. Prolon is offering CityCast listeners 15% off site-wide, plus a $40 bonus gift when you subscribe to their 5-day program. Just visit prolonlife.com/city. That's PROLONLIFE.com/city to claim your 15% discount and your bonus gift. prolonlife.com/city. This episode of CityCast is sponsored by Babbel. Learning a new language opens the door to new friends, new cultures, maybe even a whole new life. So why not start the journey today with Babbel? You can start speaking a new language with confidence thanks to Babbel's conversation-based technique. It quickly teaches you useful words and phrases about the things you actually talk about in the real world. There are more than a dozen languages available for you to learn at your own pace, with material tailored to your individual proficiency level, interests, and time availability. I'm David Plotz, CEO of CityCast, and I've been learning Spanish with Babbel and brushing up a teeny bit on my French. But there's also Turkish, Swedish, Dutch, German, many more languages. Babbel's tips and tools for learning a new language are approachable and accessible. It's like having a private tutor in your pocket. I particularly love Babbel's guided conversations, which let me practice real-world conversations. What to say at the doctor's office, how to leave a party, using speech recognition to make sure I'm getting the pronunciation right. Babbel's mobile app and website have real-time feedback, progress trackers, and clear visualizations. They're helping me improve my Spanish in only 10 minutes a day. So get talking with Babbel. I want you to learn another language, so I'm teaming up with Babbel to gift you 55% off subscriptions, but only for CityCast listeners at babbel.com/CityCast. Get up to 55% off at babbel.com/CityCast. Spelled BABBEL.com/CityCast. Babbel.com/CityCast. Rules and restrictions may apply.
What do you think are some of the best and worst bike lanes in Austin?
I actually on my Instagram feed, if you scroll back a little bit, I have a series of several
Yes.
videos of bike lanes throughout Austin where I'm asking my followers to rate my bike lane. So rate where I'm riding the bike lane. So I also go up to the Highland campus, which that's my farthest. That's about 15 miles from my house one way.
Wow.
And I hop on that little section of like on Airport, like it's past North Lamar. I'm on it from like North Lamar up to the Highland campus on Airport. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Right. It's great. So that's what we call separated and protected. So it's raised up. So it's not on the same level as the street. So there's a physical barrier between you and the road. It's separated. So like it is set between like the actual part that you're riding on. There is also a piece of grass like that's splitting you off from
Yeah.
It's also a different color. So like there are all these different like cues letting you know that like, hey, this is something different.
This is not your lane anymore.
Yeah, right. And like if a car were up there, so many things would have had to have gone wrong for that to happen. Right. And so that's a great one. I live south. I ride Slaughter Lane pretty frequently. And 2-3 years ago, that was just a strip of paint. And on Slaughter, that's terrifying. We never rode it.
I can't imagine riding a bike on Slaughter.
They just recently put in a concrete barrier, like a bike lane long. Like it's from basically the concrete barriers are on both east and westbound Slaughter Lane from Brody all the way to 35, I believe.
Yes.
So it's a huge, and that opens up so much functionality in the southern part of the city because that's a huge major thoroughfare and it's often the fastest way to get places, but now it's actually safe. One of my favorites is a new installation in Circle C that has also caught some controversy because the people of Circle C don't like it.
What?
I don't know how many Circle C listeners we have, but
I did not know that.
It's actually a beautiful section of bike lane that's designed to create safe routes to school. It basically connects some of these main thoroughfares through Circle C to Mills Elementary and Gretzky Middle School, which is where my daughter's going to be going. So when they put it in and they opened it up, I immediately started riding it because I was like, this is how I'm going to take my kid to school.
Yeah.
You have your car lane traffic and then you have a lane of parking and then you have your bike lane. And then the bike lane is protected not only by the parked cars, but also by like the parking bumpers, like if you have those lining the bike lane as well as flex posts. It's a beautiful two-way bike lane. So it allows for a lot of traffic without having to like cross the street multiple times. They did an incredible job on this. But the people of Circle C threw such a fit that now the city of Austin is discussing spending an additional $80,000+ to have them removed.
What?
After spending literally hundreds of thousands of dollars installing them. So if anybody wants to like make some noise with city council, please hop on and do that. If you are, if you want less traffic in Austin, if you have a kid that goes to either one of those schools and you want car drop off to be faster, then tell the city of Austin to not remove those bike lanes. Because I can guarantee you, if those bike lanes aren't there, kids will not be safe to ride their bikes to school. And that means parents have to drive them. And the more parents driving their kids to school, the longer that school drop-off line gets.
Also, who don't want babies to be safe on their bikes? What are we talking about? This is ridiculous.
And here's the thing. There are so many incredible places to ride all throughout Circle C, but The problem is the streets don't allow for cycling to be safe and comfortable for all ages and all abilities.
Listen, District 8 constituents, come collect y'all Circle C neighbors, please. Show up at City Council.
One of my new favorite bike lanes is actually along, I think it's called Vinson. They're trying to make it a more thoroughfare, so cyclists don't have to rely on South Congress. So it's like a couple blocks west of South First even. And it's a South Austin piece, but it used to be this like one strip of road that was just sharrows, which are the things painted on a regular car street that like it's a
Oh my
bike
God.
with some arrows that mean shared road.
Yep.
But it's we call them sharrows and they're a joke because it's the most terrible thing. Like nobody knows.
It's
like
terrible.
It's like then they see a bike and they get pissed and whatever. So like this really low comfort, like zero comfort road, but it was like the only connecting stretch in this one commute I had. But the city was like, that is traveled so often on bike. We're going to make a really nice bike lane. And over the last, 6 months or so, I've actually got to watch it grow.
Nice.
So like at first it was like tons of construction. And I was like, what's going on here? Because there's a bike lane that runs right up into this section and then it just disappears. And you're shoved out into the road, into traffic. And
that's so scary.
It is so scary, but they've been building this out and I've watched it go like block by block. Every couple of weeks, I get to ride like a block farther and it's glorious. So again, separated, protected, upper level, two-way bike lane.
Like it.
So nice.
Nice.
So that's actually been really fun to watch.
I can't wait to see that. I love that. So what are the most challenging aspects of commuting via bike, in the city?
Well, I mean, being in Austin, I think the first thing people think about is the heat. And that's legit. But there's a saying in the cycling world, there's no such thing as bad weather, only bad gear. And so preparing yourself in that way can be it just takes a little bit of forethought. I've got these lightweight sun shirts and things like that. And I've got sunscreen. I make sure I have lots of water and electrolytes. And in the summer, I shift my schedule so that I can do most of my going about in the morning and in the evening, right? So that I don't have to ride during the hottest time of the day. You just prepare yourself. You drink lots of water. You have what you need to keep yourself cool and you can handle it. And then there's the cars, right? There are a lot of cars. Yeah. Traffic is a big deal. And, I will say over the last several years, there has been an increase in poor and aggressive driving in Austin. From what I hear basically from all of my friends, literally all over the country, that's not just an Austin thing. It's something that's happening
everywhere
across the country. I'm very fortunate. I've never had, I've had some close calls with cars and I've definitely been on the receiving end of some things. I've never had a physical altercation, which I'm very, very grateful for.
I saw someone with their phone up in their field of vision, looking at their phone and looking back at the road. I'm like, honey.
It's wild. I posted a video on my Instagram of a woman driving a car. I rolled up to her on a stoplight and I have a little camera on my bike that I use as a dash cam in case, God forbid, anything happens.
Yeah.
And so I caught her. She had her Kindle on her steering wheel.
No.
Phone in her hand.
We act like we have the most important place to be, more important than anywhere else. Can we just put our phones down and pay attention to what we're doing? Because I can't tell you how many times I've seen someone come too close to the bike lane. I've seen someone come too close to a motorcyclist. It's like this false sense of security because you're in this car. But at the end of the day, you have a huge responsibility. And look, I'm going to keep off my soapbox, but y'all need to watch what y'all doing. Get off your phones. And definitely don't be on your damn Kindle. Okay, now, you're really involved in this nonprofit, Austin Bicycle Meals, and it provides meals for unhoused people downtown delivered via bicycle once a week. So, tell me a little bit about that and what's the biggest takeaway you've learned through this experience?
Austin Bicycle Meals is this really incredible, very grassroots organization of folks who meet every Saturday and every other Wednesday to deliver meals, waters, Gatorades, socks, supplies, and anything that we can get our hands on. We deliver those to unhoused, food insecure, and other basically anyone who needs them. I think it's important to know that like there are lots of folks that we serve who are not unhoused, but who are food insecure. And it's such a massive issue in Austin that like we're trying to do what we can through that. They've been running the ride for about 3 years. But it started with just these two folks, Kelly and Claire, started it just by making sandwiches in their apartment and making little
Wow.
sack lunches and going out and riding and doing it themselves. And it's grown to where we have anywhere from, 10 to 30 volunteers. We're giving out like anywhere from 100 to 250 meals a ride.
Wow.
Um,
Wow.
and on top of that, like,
Oof.
hundreds of waters, Gatorades. We take popsicles out in the summer. It's officially popsicle season now. So we have a
Yes.
cooler and we pass out popsicles. Those are always a big hit. But yeah, and then we've, in the winter, we'll get blankets from different like churches and other nonprofits. We'll have hats and socks and things like that. Literally anything that we can imagine shoving on our bikes, we will take them out. And what's so cool about what Austin Bicycle Meals does is that because we're on bikes, we can serve people who aren't being served by other organizations in town.
Yeah.
Austin does have a big heart, and there are some incredible organizations doing really good. There is a legit Meals on Wheels in Austin.
Yep.
There is Mobile Loaves and Fishes. Like their trucks go out and serve hundreds and thousands of people, but cars can't get everywhere. And especially as Austin has outlawed like camping and whatnot in the city limits, people are still camping. They're just doing it in places where you can't see them.
Deeper. Yeah.
And they're going deeper and they are intentionally making themselves harder to find, which means they're also cutting themselves off from the services and the resources that they need in order to get back on their feet. And so we're able, because we're on bikes, to fill that gap. We can go places cars can't. And we can offer the same kinds of, support and care.
Yeah. And so it's, it kind of goes back to what you're saying about connection. It's
Yeah,
like fostering this
absolutely.
connection with the community. And I love it. Tomorrow is National Bike to Work Day, right? And so I'm curious if you have any kind of like just general advice, like whether it's someone like me that's like, toying with the idea
Mhm.
of getting on a bicycle again, or maybe it's someone who's just like, oh shit, it's National Bike to Work Day tomorrow. I'm gonna ride my bike to work. Like,
Yeah.
do you have any kind of advice for just riding and commuting right now in Austin? If I want to do it tomorrow, what kind of advice would you give me?
I mean, there's like basic things about your bike. Make sure it's ready to go, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like if you want to ride tomorrow, pump up your tires tonight, right? Make sure your tires aren't flat. Make sure you got everything you need on your bike. Bring a change of clothes, right? Everybody gets freaked out, like, oh, I'm going to be sweaty. Just pack some deodorant, some extra clothes, and hop on your bike and try it out. The thing is, if you get down to the office and it did not go well, then like the worst thing that's going to happen is you're going to leave your bike there. You're going to Uber back home. You're going
Right.
to go get your car, pick it up. It's going to be fine. Like
It's fine.
you don't have anything to lose by getting
Yeah.
on your bike and just trying it out, right? If you're new to cycling, I actually don't recommend starting with commuting because it can feel really intimidating
Yeah.
to try and get someplace by a certain time. It puts so much pressure and intensity on the ride that like it's unnecessary when you're first starting out. I suggest go find a cool, chill group ride. I talked about Team Snacks. Bat City Biking does a great weekly ride that's like very chill, super fun, always a fun snack stop. Social Cycling Austin is more like a party if you want to go get maybe a little bit rowdy on bikes.
Yeah.
Ride Bikes Austin is another like more inclusive like group ride that does lots of fun stuff around town. Like get some people together and go have fun first.
First.
And once you feel really comfortable riding your bike around town, having fun, it makes it so much easier to ride to work.
Yeah. Yeah.
But again, like if you're listening to this right now and you're like, oh, bike to work days tomorrow, like just do it. Just do it.
YOLO.
See what it's like. But like cut yourself some slack, but don't put the whole biking experience on just this one ride. Like go
Yeah.
have some fun, get comfortable riding with other people, because that's the thing. Being in the bike community, you learn so much, you get so much support, and we don't realize how much like support there is for like car life, right?
Yeah.
Like our whole world is kind of like
Yeah.
focused in that direction. If we want to do something different, we need to build systems of support and be a part of systems of support for those new things. And Austin is an incredible city to get started. We're in what's called the Sunshine Belt, so like it's actually very reasonable to ride your bike year round in Austin. You know, it's a little hot in the summer, but like I said, get out early and you're fine. This is a great city to get started. Like there are so many amazing communities, so many great people, so many great rides. Like if you live in Austin and you're not riding your bike, like you're missing out and you're doing Austin wrong.
Oh, that
Yeah.
part. Okay, so listen, listeners, those of you that are not on your bike tomorrow, it is bike to work day. So please just be mindful. Be mindful. Be on the lookout. Put your phones down when you're in the car. Be kind to our cyclists. Make sure that you do everything that you can to keep streets safe for our cyclists. If no other day, at least do it tomorrow, just in case somebody listening is like, YOLO, I'm riding my bike tomorrow.
That's right. And if you're listening and you're on the fence, let me tell you a little bit about what Bike to Work Day is here in Austin. So Gisala Cycling Initiative, they're a great nonprofit here in town. In addition with Yellow Bike Project, Get There ATX, Movability ATX, have all come together. And there are 45 different fueling locations around the city. What that means is
Wow.
free food and coffee, as well as other fun snacks and fun activities on your way to work. They're broken down by quadrant in the city. So like no matter what part of town you're coming from or going to, there is likely going to be a stop somewhere near you where you can go connect with some people, find some new bike friends, get some free tacos, get a coffee, and then ride the rest of the way into work. Check out Gisalo Cycling Initiative on Instagram for all the information and where all the stops are. It's really such an incredibly fun day to be out on your bike and see all of the people doing it with you. I can't recommend it enough. So I hope to see y'all out there.
Abby, thank you for being here. Thank you so much for taking the time.
Thank you for having me. This was great.
That's all for today here on CityCast Austin. You can find a link to Abby's social media in our show notes. If you enjoyed the show, why not tell a friend who you want to go on a bike ride with? And while you're at it, rate the show, leave us a review, and subscribe to our Hey Austin newsletter. We'll be back tomorrow morning with more news from around the city. Bye, y'all.